All right, so get ready, guys. Today we're really diving deep into a mystery that's both, I don't know about you, but I find it both fascinating and kind of heartbreaking. It's the life and death of Mac Dre.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just some Bay Area rapper. He was, a true force in the music world. But his story? Man, it's a wild ride. Talent, ambition, life on the streets, the whole music industry thing, and then this shadow of this unsolved murder.
Yeah, and what makes this deep dive so interesting is we're not just talking like headlines and news clips here, right?
Yeah.
We've got these firsthand accounts, rumors from the streets, even like glimpses into actual FBI files. It's definitely a tangled web.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if we're careful, if we untangle each thread, maybe, just maybe, we can get a little closer to the truth of what really went down.
All right, so let's start with Mac Dre himself. Born Andre Hicks, he wasn't some overnight success story.
No.
He came straight out of Oakland and his talent. Man, undeniable even as a young artist.
Oh, absolutely.
But his path to success, let's just say it wasn't exactly a straight shot to the top.
No, not at all. His journey was definitely marked by these run-ins with the law.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy how early on these tensions started. I mean, you've got that whole story about his song Police. He wasn't just, complained about the cops in general. He called out specific officers,
Yeah.
by name.
Wait, he actually named names in the song? Come on, that's ballsy.
Right? Ballsy or, I don't know, maybe a little reckless, depending on how you see it. But it wasn't just some publicity stunt, Police. It wasn't just controversial. It was like this real conflict that was brewing between Mac Dre, whose art, his music, was really reflecting life on the streets. And then you have this system that seemed to be criminalizing those very realities. And this whole clash, this tension, it became a recurring theme in his life.
And that brings us to 1992. That's a pivotal year in his story. It really casts a shadow over everything, even leading up to the mystery of his death.
Exactly, 92. That's when Mac Dre, along with G. Diggs and Kilo Kurt, they were arrested in Fresno. Conspiracy to commit burglary, they said. Now, the FBI, they built this case saying they were planning this big bank heist. But Mac Dre, he always said he was innocent. Throughout the whole thing, he never backed down from that.
5 years, though. 5 years in prison for something he insisted he didn't do. Even back then, that seems incredibly harsh. Was there more to it? Is that what people were saying?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
That's what's been haunting this case for decades. Some people, they believe the FBI targeted Mac Dre because of his music. Especially after Police, it was the peak of the so-called war on drugs. And, back then, gangster rap, it was seen as a threat by a lot of people. Law enforcement, they were cracking down. Whether they were right to target him for his music or if those charges were legit, that's the debate. And it's a debate that's still going on today.
And then you got this whole other layer, this whole informant angle, a name that comes up again and again, Corey Dunn. But here's the thing, he turns up dead, riddled with bullets. After that whole Fresno incident.
And that's what really gets people talking,
Yeah.
This chilling detail, it just throws gasoline on an already out-of-control fire. People start to wonder, was there something darker going on here? This wasn't just a burglary anymore, was it?
Okay, so we've got Mac Dre doing time for something he swore he didn't do. You've got rumors of the FBI having it out for him and a dead informant. How do you even come back from all that? It really speaks to his strength, his resilience. To come back from all that, Mac Dre, he gets out of prison in 96.
Yeah.
More determined than ever. This guy, he wanted to make his mark on music.
Absolutely.
And he did. He really did.
He didn't just bounce back. He exploded. He starts Fizz Entertainment, his own label.
Wow.
And his music, man, it was everywhere. Even Hawaii.
Right.
This wasn't just some local thing anymore. This was national.
Yeah. But this new world, right? All the success, the fame, it couldn't have been easy. Especially with his past. That always follows you.
It does. It does. Mac Dre, he was walking this tightrope, trying to balance this music career with where he came from.
Right.
The streets, they were always there.
Yeah.
And the pressure was on. It was intense.
And that leads us to Kansas City, 2004. There's this planned concert, this promoter, and it feels like things are about to go very wrong.
It does.
Who is this promoter, by the way?
Damian Whitmill.
Damian Whitmill. What's his story?
So Whitmill, he says he booked Mac Dre, right? And some other Bay Area artists. Yuck Meth, PSD, F.A. Driva, Halloween Weekend, series of shows. Seemed like a good deal, at least on paper.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be talking about it if it was that simple.
You got that right.
So what happened?
Well, according to Whitmill, Mac Dre was being difficult. Showing up late, messing things up.
Really?
He even claims that at one show, Mac Dre's people, they rushed the stage. Security had to get involved. Shut the whole thing down.
Okay, hold on. So we've already got different stories here. This is what you were talking about before, right?
Uh-huh.
This whole tangled web.
Yeah, this is where it gets messy.
So what are other people saying? People who were there.
Well, Jay Diggs, he was close to Mac Dre.
Mm-hmm.
He says, yeah, there was some problems. But he blames the promoter, said Whitmill wasn't handling things professionally. In fact, Yukmuth, he actually left after the first show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he got out of there. Wanted nothing to do with it.
So you're telling me Mac Dre, he's basically stuck in Kansas City?
Pretty much.
And things are getting worse. You'd think he would have just left, cut his losses.
You'd think, right. But he didn't. For whatever reason, he stayed. Maybe he thought he could fix things, get paid what he was owed. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that decision, staying, it cost him his life.
Because now we're talking about the early hours of November 1st, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
The music literally dies. Mac Dre leaves a club, white van.
Right.
What happened?
This is the part that's really scary, the violence. That's the thing about this life sometimes. It's always there.
Yeah.
So 2, 3 in the morning, van's going down Highway 71. Suddenly this dark sedan pulls up next to him, and they just open fire.
Open fire,
That's
like
right.
a drive-by.
More like an execution.
Wow.
They found like 30 shell casings,
Yeah.
at least 2 different guns.
Oh, my God.
It was brutal. And they were after Mac Dre. They went right for him. This was personal.
It was a hit.
It was.
So who did it? Was it just this concert gone wrong or something else, something bigger?
So many theories.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, Mac Dre's death. It wasn't just the music world that felt it. It was this whole community. They saw him as a symbol of hope, beating the odds. His music, it still means something.
Of course.
But what happened that night, that's still a mystery. And it's one we're trying to solve, piece by piece.
So Mac Dre's murder, I mean, it wasn't just the sadness,
Right.
right? People were shocked
Yeah.
and angry, and that led to a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
One name kept coming up, Fat Tone, rapper from Kansas City.
Right.
What's the connection there?
Well, the word on the street was that he and Mac Dre, they had some kind of beef.
Beef, like what, over music, territory.
Could be. Some people even said there was this diss track. Fat Tone bragging about killing Mac Dre.
Whoa, hold on. Did anyone ever actually hear this diss track? It seems like that would have been huge.
That's the thing. Lots of talk.
Mm.
But no one's ever produced the track.
Yeah.
It's like this weird hip-hop ghost story. Everyone's heard of it, but no one's actually heard it.
Wild. And what about Fat Tone? What did he say about all this?
He denied it, said he had nothing to do with Mac Dre's death.
But then, here's the thing. Less than a year later, Fat Tone gets murdered, too. It's like life imitating art, except this is real life, real death.
It's crazy, right? And it gets even more complicated.
Yeah.
2 guys, Andre Dow, they called him Mac Minister, and this other guy, Jason Mathis, they were convicted for killing Fat Tone. But hold on, gets better. One of the witnesses against Dow, they recanted, said they lied.
Seriously. After the trial, that changes everything. What would make someone do that? So was Fat Tone killed in revenge for Mac Dre? Or was it something else entirely?
It's impossible to say for sure. Just more questions,
And then, just when you think this case can't get any weirder, JT the Bigga Figga, he drops this bomb, says that Jay Diggs and Kilo Kurt, Mac Dre's own friends, they were behind it,
Yeah.
said they wanted control of his label.
It's important to remember, though, Diggs has always denied that very strongly. There's never been any proof, no charges or anything.
So where does that leave us? I mean, we've been through it all. Rumors, different sides of the story, talk of conspiracies. Do we have any answers about who killed Mac Dre?
Officially, no. It's still unsolved, as far as the police are concerned anyway. It's sad, his music meant so much to people. But what really happened that night, we may never know.
So what's the takeaway here? We've uncovered a lot. Different versions of what happened, unanswered questions. Maybe the truth is out there somewhere. Or maybe we have to accept that we'll never really know. But at least we're keeping his story alive. It's got to count for something, right?
It does, and maybe that's the thing about Mac Dre. Even without all the answers, his story, it makes you think about music, about life and death, and the search for truth even when it's hard.
Mac Dre's music, it's still out there, his legacy secure. But the mystery, that's still with us. It reminds you that some stories just don't have easy endings. So what do you think happened? Maybe we'll never know for sure. But the journey, that's what matters. Keep asking questions, keep searching for the truth, and keep the music playing. Until next time.